In a small town, there lived a man named Daniel, who dreamt of seeing the world beyond his tiny home. Every night, Daniel would gaze at travel magazines, imagining himself walking through ancient streets, climbing tall mountains, and swimming in crystal clear waters. His heart longed for adventure, but his pockets were always empty. One day, he would whisper to himself, "I will see the world." Despite his lack of money, Daniel believed in the power of his dreams. He worked long hours in a local CAF, saving every penny he could. His friends often teased him, calling him a dreamer. But Daniel never gave up. On his 30th birthday, something incredible happened. He won a lottery ticket worth millions. It felt like the universe had finally heard his silent prayers. With the money, Daniel could now turn his dreams into reality. His first destination was Paris, a city he had only ever seen in pictures. As the airplane soared into the sky, Daniel felt a rush of excitement like never before. The sight of the Eiffel Tower took his breath away. He stood beneath it, feeling small but incredibly alive. "This is just the beginning," he thought to himself, smiling at the grand adventure ahead. Daniel wandered through the cobblestone streets, tasting fresh croissants and sipping coffee at charming cafes. He visited the Louvre and saw the Mona Lisa, something he had only ever read about in books. Everywhere he turned, there was beauty, history, and life. Each moment in Paris felt like a dream come true. After Paris, Daniel traveled to Egypt, a land of ancient wonders. He stood in awe before the pyramids, their massive stones towering over him. He even rode a camel through the desert, the sun setting in the distance, casting a golden glow on the sands. "I never thought I'd be here," he whispered to himself, feeling gratitude wash over him. His journey continued to the Maldives, where he stayed in a hut perched above the turquoise waters. Daniel spent his days snorkeling, swimming with colorful fish, and soaking in the sun. At night, he would sit on the porch of his hut, listening to the gentle waves and counting the stars. Each day was better than the last, and his spirit soared with joy. As he traveled from country to country, Daniel met people from all walks of life. He shared meals with strangers who became friends, learned new languages, and experienced cultures that opened his eyes to the beauty of diversity. Every sunrise felt like a new chapter in his life, filled with endless possibilities. He climbed mountains in Switzerland, feeling the cool air brush against his face as he reached the summit. He sailed on a boat through the canals of Venice, the city's beauty reflecting in the water. He danced under the northern lights in Norway, their colors lighting up the sky in magical waves. With every new place, Daniel felt his heart expand, filled with more love for the world and its wonders. But it wasn't just the destinations that made his journey special. It was the people he met along the way. In Japan, he learned the art of meditation from a wise monk who taught him the importance of inner peace. In Africa, he joined a safari, watching lions and elephants roam free in their natural habitat. In India, he visited the Taj Mahal, marveling at its beauty and the love story behind its creation. His travels weren't just about seeing famous landmarks, they were about discovering himself. Each moment taught him something new, not just about the world, but about who he was as a person. Daniel realized that his dream was more than just travel. It was about living life to the fullest. One day, while resting in a small village in Italy, Daniel sat by a lake, watching the sunset. A young girl approached him, asking if he had always been so lucky. Daniel smiled and said, "It's not luck, it's belief." He told her that the secret to living his dream was believing in it, even when it seemed impossible. "If you hold on to your dreams, the universe will find a way to make them come true," he said. The girl smiled back, inspired by his words, and ran off to tell her friends. Daniel watched her go, remembering a time when he, too, was just a boy with big dreams. Now, as he sat there, watching the reflection of the orange sky on the water, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. His journey wasn't over yet, but in that moment, he knew he had achieved something special. He had turned his dreams into reality, and that was a feeling no amount of money could ever buy. With every passing day, Daniel's life became a collection of memories he would cherish forever. He took photos of each place he visited, not to boast but to remind himself of how far he had come. His heart was full of gratitude, not just for the places he had seen, but for the journey itself. He knew that not everyone had the chance to live their dreams, but he hoped his story would inspire others. One day, Daniel decided to write a book about his travels, sharing his adventures with the world. His goal was simple: to show people that dreams are worth chasing, no matter how far-fetched they may seem. As the book gained popularity, Daniel received letters from people all over the world. They thanked him for reminding them that life was full of endless possibilities. Some even shared how his story had inspired them to take their own journeys. Daniel felt honored, knowing that his experiences were helping others find their path. But he never stopped traveling. The world was too big, too beautiful to ever fully explore. He went to South America, hiking through the Amazon rainforest, amazed by the vastness of nature. In Australia, he visited the Great Barrier Reef, diving deep into the colorful underwater world. His feet touched the sands of beaches in Thailand, the bustling streets of New York, and the peaceful temples of Bali. Each new destination was a new dream fulfilled. Over time, Daniel realized that the true magic of his travels was in the moments he didn't plan. It was the unexpected kindness of a stranger, the taste of a meal he had never tried, or the quiet reflection at the top of a mountain. These moments became the essence of his journey, making every day feel like a gift. As Daniel's hair turned gray, he continued to explore the world with the same excitement he had felt as a young man. He never took anything for granted, always appreciating the wonder of life. His story became a beacon of hope for others, showing them that dreams, no matter how big or small, could come true. He often thought back to his old life in the small town, where everything had seemed so out of reach. Now, it all felt like a distant memory, a reminder of how far he had come. Daniel had once been a dreamer, and now he was a doer. He knew that the world was full of opportunities waiting to be discovered. As he looked at his map, filled with pins marking all the places he had visited, he felt a sense of pride. But more than that, he felt contentment, knowing that he had lived his life to the fullest. He had chased his dreams and made them come true, one step at a time. As the years went by, Daniel's name became synonymous with adventure and inspiration. People often asked him what his secret to happiness was. His answer was always simple: believe in your dreams and never stop exploring. For Daniel, life was about more than just seeing the world. It was about experiencing it with an open heart. Every sunset, every mountain, and every ocean he crossed was a testament to the power of believing in oneself. He had learned that dreams were not meant to be kept inside, they were meant to be lived. Daniel's story became a legend, passed down from generation to generation. Children grew up hearing about the man who traveled the world and lived his dreams. His legacy was not just the places he had visited, but the inspiration he had left behind. As he stood on the edge of a cliff overlooking the sea one last time, Daniel smiled. He had done it. He had turned his wildest dreams into a beautiful reality. With a heart full of gratitude, Daniel closed his eyes and let the cool breeze wash over him. His journey had been long, but it was one he would never trade for anything. In the end, Daniel realized that dreams were not just about reaching a destination. They were about the moments along the way that shaped him into who he was. And as he watched the waves crash against the shore, he knew one thing for certain. The journey was the dream, and it had been more beautiful than he could have ever imagined. Daniel's story was proof that life was full of magic if you just dared to believe. With one last breath, he whispered to the world, "Thank you for the adventure." And with that, Daniel's journey was complete, but his story would live on forever. For in every person who dared to dream, there was a piece of Daniel's heart beating strong.